Hi, I am Patrick, this is Brian, and this is Cory from Times Infinity Games. We are at the Cloak and Blaster once again, and we just got done playing The Others 7 Sins. We've played this game before, but now we play with more people. We play with, obviously, with Cory from Times Infinity Games, and we played with John Hex Carter from Screech Dragon Games. So, Screech Dragon Games. It's a screaming dragon games. Screech Dragon Games. Join us for The Others 7 Sins, Part 2. Brian Fiore.
Yes.
We have played the game before. We did touch on the rules just a little bit, but pick one specific aspect of the rules that you'd like to talk about and tell everyone about The Others 7 Sins.
Sure. This time I'm going to go ahead and delve into some of the combat. Basically, it's a, an asymmetrical game in which one player is dealing with the acolytes and the avatar of whichever of the 7 sins, and what's the other guys called? The acolytes. They start with A. They all start with A's, but that's the evil guys. Then you have the
abominations.
The players of faith, the faith team or whatever, and basically each player of the good guys, they have an attack value and a defense value. And if they're going to launch an attack against some of the monsters that happen to be in whatever district are there, they basically are going to get a pool of dice. Now, they're limited up to 7 dice, I believe, and they're going to roll however many attack dice they have, plus they get 1 extra dice for each of their fellow players on their side. And then one of the cool parts of the game is the actual corruption track. So at any time, if they're going to roll the dice, before they roll, they choose if they want to increase their corruption. And when they do so, they move their marker up 1, and then there's a corresponding set of different abilities that they're going to get. It could be an extra dice, it could be an extra automatic hit, it could be an extra shield, and they're going to get all of the abilities to like the left of their corruption marker. So they can get up to 7 dice that they're going to roll in the pool, plus all of the bonuses. And then the defending player, which is if it's the monster, they're going to be rolling their pool of dice, which is going to be the sum total of all of the attack dice of however many monsters they have there, which is also limited by 7. Some of the icons on the dice are if you have like the flaming fist, or in your case it's the faith sword or something like that. You would get to roll a bonus dice, and the good players also then get to turn one of the other dice to any side that they want, either block a corruption or a shield or to add extra damage. So that's basically how combat works, and you just kind of resolve it out. The attacking players get to allocate the damage to try to kill off as many of the monsters, or not to kill them off. Whatever their strategy is. But with that, Patrick, what would you say is your favorite thing about The Others?
There's this Apocalypse deck in the game that, as you play the game, you get to pull cards from this Apocalypse deck, and you get a hand of them in the beginning of the game as well. Or the bad guy gets a hand of them in the game as well. And it's really how those mechanisms work throughout the course of the game. There's one particular one where you play this card, and if there's a certain amount of creatures in an area, you get a bonus, but the heroes get to see this and they can kind of try to counter that. So it's almost like a gambling. I love that, and I think there's a lot more interesting stuff in that deck. And Cory, if you had to pick one thing that you liked the most, because I know you dug the game.
I did. What I really liked about the game was when you roll in the dice and you get the hit burst, you're allowed to take that hit burst and, well, for one, you get to get additional die and roll it because you nailed the hit burst, and you roll that one. Then when you're done rolling, you get to take the die that has the hit burst and switch it to any side of the die you want it to be on, which was like so cool. Like if you needed to buffer some damage, you needed to deal extra damage, or buffer some corruption. I thought that was a great addition to the game.
And you get to do that because you roll the dice simultaneously. You get to do that afterwards, so you can decide whether you need to save your character or you're just going for it and doing more damage. You're right, that's really, really cool. Brian Fiore.
My favorite thing about the game is the different ways that you can actually deal damage, and there's a lot of it. So basically when the players move around, there's sometimes fire tokens on the board, and anytime they move into or out of a space with fire, they have to make like a fire save, and they can take
Fire.
damage for
Fire.
for each fire token on the
Fire.
board. But then there's also corruption tokens on the board, and the corruption doesn't necessarily deal damage right at the beginning, but that can kind of factor in later as well. So you got those, and then also if they're running away or running through the different areas where your creatures are, then they also take 1 damage. So I kind of like that there's a lot of like poisoning and like little like jibs and jabs, nickel and diming of the damage. But with that, Patrick, what would you say is the thing that you like least about the others?
No, we have reviewed this game before, and I'm going to have to say the exact same thing because it's the only thing that I can really pick out that I dislike, and I continue to dislike it into the second game, is the setup. It does take a while to set up. There's lots of stuff you've got to separate. And obviously, if you put it all away, all right, there's still lots of little different areas to do it, but it's still going to take a lot to get everything set up and out on the game. And Eric Lang has made an incredible game. It's got a lot of interesting aspects to it. To do that, you have to have a lot of different little niche pieces. Cory, if you had to pick something?
Mine, what I didn't like was walking into the game and not having to be able to face all the 7 sins. I really thought that was going to happen in the game, not playing it before. So I was thinking it was going to be like, you're going to face all 7, you have to take them all down in order to win. But it's great for expansion. You face against one, and you deal with all the little minions. And then it's like, oh crap, now I gotta face against the other one. So I guess it's the least part that I like, but I guess it'll keep me wanting to play more.
You wanted to struggle with lust, didn't you?
Mine's more greed.
Might be able to set it up like a legacy kind of edition. So now that we've finished Pride, now we can just
And we melt him down at the end of the game. We melt the mini at the end of the game. I'm sure this can make people furious. Brian, if you had to pick one thing that you liked the least.
The thing that I like the least is a kind of the flip side of what I like the most, in that there was a bunch of different ways to do a bunch of different damage by nickel and diming the good character's health away little by little. But for the storyboard scenario that we chose, it was like a combat head-to-head. But if you're playing the monster, the big demon guy, it's not really that much combat, direct conflict, aggression for you. It's more of a passive-aggressive style that you kind of have to play.
Which you normally like being passive-aggressive.
I sort of like it. I like doing lots of damage, but sometimes when you get a big cool guy like this, you just want to like reach out and just like rip someone apart. But in this case, you got to kind of like corner them and anticipate where they're going to go and just kind of like show up there and then just wait for them to come to you. So there's a little bit more of that passive-aggressive strategy that you have to play. But again, the others was already wildly successful on Kickstarter.
And we're giving away our copy. And if you share enough of the videos, you're going to get the whole Kickstarter edition copy of it. You're going to get the alpha team and the beta team, and I don't think the beta, I think the alpha team and the gamma team, and all 7 sins. So if you made it through the whole video, make sure that you share it and you like it, and get ready to win our copy of the other 7 sins. I'm Patrick. This is Cory from Times Infinity. John X. Carter had to go home early. It's pretty late here at the Cloak and Blaster.
It's like 11 o'clock, right?
It's almost midnight.
I think it's a sin to stay up this late.
Oh, you naughty little bastard. Thank you for watching Just Got Played. Greed? Really? Greed's your problem?
Greed. I don't know. I just feel like I gotta have everything. Kickstarter, back it all. I want the whole thing. I want all the expansions. Give me it all.
You should have gotten the Kickstarter.
What's your sin of choice?
I would have to see.
He's taking too long, so sloth.
Yeah. I'm not very slothy. I'm not slothy at all. I like lust, but I don't have the energy for that anymore. Maybe it is sloth. What about you, Fury? You do like the gluttony.
I don't think I have any. Gluttony? Well, I do like some carbs. I have a love-hate relationship with them, so but I think I can get past it, so it might be pride.
That's great.
Yes! I like it.
We're both in keto. Are you in keto?
I will be.
I'm in keto, so I
like
can't
2
have any
days.
chocolate.
Could be.
I've been working out every day because I'm
Working on his sexy.
working on my sexy.
This makes it to the credits.
in the just talking about me being in keto, working on my sexy. All right. I'm not doing that.
We do the P90X together. So first we do a coconut oil massage.
You can stay, or you're still staring.
I like watching you guys.
That's hot.